You're listening to a Soul One podcast.
Well, I had quite the movie-going experience.
At the theater?
Well, yes. I would say more post at the theater. So, I don't do a lot of research.
No.
For movies. I prefer to go in pretty much without anything happening. Sometimes I read things here and there. Right. I had quite the strong opinion about the movie that I'm reviewing this week. So I just wanted to look it up because sometimes I think, am I
crazy
really off here? Yeah, am I?
Did I take crazy pills?
Crazy pills? Yeah. But then it sort of, as any internet search does, sends you down a deep dive into this whole other thing of there's a small corner of the internet that believes my movie Disclosure Day is the ultimate proof that the U.S. government has been lying to all their citizens.
They're using it as like fact. See, this is a
Like
documentary.
it's definitely a fiction story. Like it's written and directed by Steven Spielberg. Like it's a movie.
But are they like so deep in the conspiracy? They're like, oh, Steven Spielberg is like revealing the truth. He's a truther. Like he's showing us.
It's just one of those blanket conspiracy theory, either groups or individuals who basically say, this is reality. This is true. And it's interesting because I've never watched a movie, any kind of movie, and thought, this is reality. It's just never crossed my mind.
As you were describing that, Mike, I was literally thinking, I want the Venn diagram of people who think Disclosure Day is real, and then the other circle of people being depressed that Avatar isn't real.
Isn't real, yeah.
I wonder how much overlap the middle part of the Venn diagram is.
Yeah.
But that's kind of nutty. You probably weren't expecting that. I just
wanted to hear what people thought about the movie. I didn't know it would open up a whole can of worms.
I'm sure there's lots of other movies that's a certain segment of the population watches the movie and says like, see, we were right all along. That is part of the deep state, and this director is on our side.
Yeah, I can't remember which comedian it was, but there's some comedian who did a whole bit on he agreed with one thing that someone who's very like certain side of the political aisle and very like nutty. And he just agreed with one small point, and then the person was like, yeah, see, this person's on our side. And he's like, no, whoa, no.
Don't put me in that camp.
All I said was, yeah, you have a good point about that one thing. And yeah, it's very funny. Sometimes I wonder if filmmakers and other artists look at that in the positive or the negative. And I'm wondering if that even crosses their mind. You'd think it wouldn't. You'd think you'd be like, people are smart enough to understand that it's fiction and I'm writing a story. And like, yeah, maybe there are elements that could be true, and that makes it feel more real, I think, which is why we connect to movies in certain ways. But it was very interesting reading experience.
Mike, I have an equivalent.
Okay.
So as we know on the show, I have a side interest in cults and high control groups.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a segment, and maybe as far as this woman tells the story, there is a segment of the internet that believes Anne Rice's books, the Vampire Chronicles, are true.
Oh.
And that Anne Rice, met the vampires and then wrote these quote unquote fiction books, but actually she met the real vampires and she's telling their story. And so, the movie, the 1994 movie, is in a way like an adaptation of fact. So I think probably maybe every movie is going to have a segment of the population that's like, yes, that's real. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. It's mind-boggling because
It's strange.
I even look at documentaries with the same scrutiny of like, yes, I understand it's based on reality, just like reality TV is, but it's still scripted. It's still from a particular point of view. It's still skewing the story to whatever the documentarian, whatever their narrative is. It's still going to have a bias, I guess is what I'm saying, to a certain degree. So I still take it with like, yeah, this is more factual, but I'm sure there are still skewed points of view that you're getting.
I wonder what else you were Googling that day that the algorithm brought you straight to Disclosure Day being fact.
You bring up a real good point. Why did that come up so fast?
I feel like that should have taken like 5 pages of Google, and yet you arrived there very quickly by the sounds of it.
Well, I try to understand other people's perspectives. Sure, sometimes I'll look up certain things to try to
what
get
does X believe about Y?
People. Yeah. Get to know people better. And so maybe my computer's now sort of like, oh, you're very interested in this. And just like that comedian, I'm saying, no, not at all interested. Just trying to find out what people thought of Disclosure Day. So that was my little post-movie story.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm never going to do any more research.
Before we get to your review, and I am interested to hear your review because the things I'm seeing, initially, not great feedback about this movie. So I'm looking forward to hearing your review. But before we get there, I thought I would share a headline with you, Mike, because you reviewed this movie a couple of weeks ago, and you have not seen this news.
Mm-hmm.
And so the headline is, and this isn't the juiciest headline because it comes from Yahoo Finance, but it really captures the essence of the story. So an art director accepted $6,741 to work on the film Obsession. Then the movie made $224 million. And then the article, the headline goes on to say why crew rarely see the upside. So it's breaking down essentially the numbers. So the art director, of course, Mike, you reviewed this movie maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago now. Huge. This movie was like an overnight sensation, blew up, biggest movie
definitely
of the spring. And it was made on a shoestring budget. And as I just read, as of, 5 days ago, this movie has made $224 million. And so maybe last week, maybe 2 weeks ago now, the art director, who's a young woman, I think she's like fresh out of film school, made like an Instagram post being like, I was paid only $300 a day, and however many days that was, I don't know, but it works out to being $6,741. And she's like, this movie is making millions of dollars. I haven't seen a single penny. People on indie sets really need to unionize. And as you can imagine, Mike, the internet has a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. Everybody has a lot of thoughts on everything. Yeah.
But about this young woman. So mostly I would say there's some people who are supporting her being like, yeah, that's unjust that this movie has made millions of dollars and like you only saw that small figure. And then like I would say like the vast majority of people are like, you signed a contract, and this is how in the arts community things work. Primarily if it's a small indie budget. And so if you, and the director essentially, Curry Baker, I can't forget, Curry Barker, he essentially said, on a film of this scale, you only will make money if you put in an investment, essentially. Like if you're willing to like lose money on the production, like you don't have a stake in the earnings. And so,
and I also think this person, she probably doesn't understand that even on a bigger budget film, it's a small majority of people who see like money come back.
The producers,
or sometimes like big stars will be part of their contract, but
and the director,
and the director. But that's even like in the cast, not everyone has a stake in the film. There are many people who do Marvel movies who don't get a cut of it, like Robert Downey Jr. does, because it's Robert Downey Jr., but most of the others don't. And then it will get negotiated that they do. And then sometimes, like you're saying, Taylor, they become a producer, where then you get something like that. But like that, you're making a financial commitment at the beginning. Like, you're giving money to the production one way or another. So it is a little odd that this person seems so adamant about their point of view, but that's not how a lot of contracts seem to work.
I feel like it's an insane take, because I know I appreciate film isn't like 8-hour days, but say she put in an 8-hour day, and this is, you know, in Canadian dollars, she would have earned $37.50 an hour if she was taking home $300 a day for 8 hours. Granted, she probably worked more than that, but to me, that's a living wage in Canada.
For sure. And I think the other point is, like you're saying, you signed a contract, and never in any scenario is there a guarantee that your movie's going to make money, not make money, go anywhere, not go anywhere. So the fact that you had any guarantee money is great, and you signed a contract and you did it. From there, unless you're going to make an investment, unless you're going to be a producer, unless you're part of it, you're a paid contractor to do work. I don't understand
that mentality
at all. I just don't get it. It doesn't
matter. And it seems like, to me, it seems like she made, and then one of the comments was like, and I didn't get reimbursed gas money. You and the majority of people. Yeah,
again, unless that's in the contract. Again, I don't understand. There's lots of people who don't.
So I saw one comment on the art on an article I was reading. I thought was put really well. So it was, so would you be crying? Would you have written the same article if this movie didn't make money and Curry Barker lost money on it? Would you be volunteering to pay his wages?
Oh, no, of course not.
No, of course not.
This is only about it being successful. That's
and her being like trying to make it like a equity issue or whatever. But anyways, and all the comments were like, she's nuts. She's completely burned all her bridges. He's never going to bring her back for another movie.
Oh, and that'll hurt you for sure. And that happens in all arts businesses, that you can be somebody who says these kinds of things, and a lot of producers will be like, I don't want to work with this person. Like, I just don't want to bring this person in anymore, because she doesn't get it, doesn't understand what this business is. And two, you're kind of making a mountain out of a molehill. You've signed a contract.
She got paid. She didn't work for free.
Paid. No, you didn't work for free. And where is it written that you need to succeed when your company does? Even if, like, for take it out of movies for a second, if you're paid by anybody, if you're paid by any business or company, you work for Bell, you work for Rogers, you work for Canadian Tire, you work for a marketing agency, you work for a law firm. Most people are just on salary. It doesn't, unless you have bonuses
you don't necessarily
written in your contract, you don't necessarily get anything.
Yeah, workers of the world unite, I guess, is what she's trying to say. But I think
no one's against that. I just think
unionizing or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
I think that why I just think it's insane is because the nature of the industry is you're taking a gamble, and she would not be writing this article if this movie didn't make over $200 million.
No, of course not.
No, they didn't make it on a shoestring budget thinking that it was going to be huge. So of course they didn't write into the contract, bonuses or dividends. So, and for what I understand, especially when it's like an early career director, essentially he pays it forward, or she pays it forward, by bringing the team along with him on future projects. And that's what he said in his defense. He said, he essentially he didn't say it in these exact words, but saying like, he also did not make a lot of money on this project. And how he's gaining from this project is that it's opening doors for future projects that will yield higher salaries. So essentially he's saying like, that would have been you too if you just have kept your mouth shut, right?
And as a theater producer, I sign these contracts all the time, and I write these contracts all the time. Whatever I'm paying somebody to design the set for a show, for example, there's the money I'm paying you. I'm not taking money away from you if the play doesn't make money.
Right.
And therefore, I'm not giving you more money if the play makes money. Like, this is what you were paid. You agreed to do it, to create this thing. Now, if I bring in $50,000 at the box office, or $70,000, or $5,000, it doesn't affect your pay. So that's the other thing. Is she willing to get, if it flops, is she willing to give money back?
And
would be my question.
And I would hazard a guess now. So anyways, I'm glad that you sided with me. I feel like our take is pretty much the majority take on the internet. There are some people being like, that's unjust. She should get a bonus. And I'm like, well, that's not really how the world works. Or the industry. That's not how the industry works.
And again, if you were to give a bonus to everybody when you make money, I could tell you on a smaller scale, suddenly you don't make money anymore. I now run a theater company in Ottawa. If I were to give a bonus to everyone, then I don't have that profit, and now it doesn't help me make my next thing. Like, it's just that, yeah, you're right, Taylor. It sucks, but at the end of the day, that's not how it works. And if you are in a position where you can get bonuses in a contract, or you can get a piece of sort of the pie of a movie, and you want to be a producer, that's a completely different discussion. If she said, well, I'll make less, but you've got to make me a producer so I can make some more later, that's a different discussion. Then, yeah, you're cheated out of money that you should have had. But that's not what it sounds like happened here. You agreed to an amount. You did your job. You were paid that amount. The obligation to you is now over.
And like I've been saying, if she had been a good team sport, she would have had many more movies open to her.
Oh, definitely. And I think that there's sort of two pieces of this puzzle. There's one, you did a job. Your job is complete. You're paid for it. I don't know why everyone thinks they have ownership over everything. Like, you were a part of this movie, but you were several of the parts of the movie. And had you just not said this, you might have had more opportunities. And now that's going to be very challenging, I think. So, yeah, I'm definitely on the same page as you about this. I think that's not a great attitude. And I know I literally could know exactly how I would respond if I was a producer on a theater project and this happened to me, and someone came to me with these complaints. I'd say, that's just, what? That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous article, a ridiculous sentiment, and you really have to change your mindset. That's what I would be saying.
Yeah, nuts. Okay. Would you like to review Disclosure Day, or should I review mine?
No, I'll I've already disclosed.
Hinted. Yeah, you've hinted
what I'm watching. So I will talk about Disclosure Day. So it's Steven Spielberg wrote and directed this movie. Haven't seen a Spielberg film in a while. The last one I can think of was the video game movie based on that book series, which I cannot remember. It's the nostalgia one. I can't remember.
The Maze Runner?
No, they go into the
Tron.
Our fans are going to absolutely demolish me for not being able to think of this. They go into, this. It's a futuristic world, and they go into this world, and it's like a video game.
Not Tron. That sounds like Tron.
No. Ready Player One.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
Ready Player One from 2018, and then he did The Fabelmans in 2022. Which
I think you reviewed The Fabelmans.
I think I did, yes. So, it's been a while since I had a Steven Spielberg movie. This movie kind of centers around two people. Josh O'Connor, who I think he's most known for playing one of the princes from The Crown in their 20s. Like, that's who he was.
I think he was in the newest Knives Out movie.
Yes, he was. He was in the Knives Out movie as well. So he's one of the main characters. Emily Blunt is one of the other main characters. Mike?
He could have played, remember that question I had last week or we both had about who would you recast? Josh O'Connor could have been in How to Make a Killing.
And do you think that would have been better than Glenn Powell?
Yes. But anyways, go on. Oh, and he was in Challengers. You loved that movie.
Was he in Challengers?
He's listed as being in Challengers. Oh. I think he's one of the tennis guys.
Oh, he's one of the other guys in Challengers. Okay, all right. Yes.
He kind of has one of those looks where I feel like he kind of blends in. You know what I mean? Like, his features aren't
Yeah, he does kind of look like a bunch of other people, so I
Yeah,
do
he can be a bit of a
confuse him.
chameleon.
I confuse him a bit. He was fantastic in Challengers. Disclosure Day, on the other hand.
Not so
well,
wonderful.
let me finish the plot here for a second, and then I'll get
Sorry.
back to it. So Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt are kind of the two main characters. It centers around them, and essentially this is about a conspiracy long held by the government about aliens landing on the planet, and they're
Allegedly true, according to that
allegedly
fraction
true.
of the internet.
And specifically the government's treatment over these particular beings, and this one particular government branch or group who is in charge of keeping the secret, played by Colin Firth. So the movie starts and it throws you right into the action. Essentially, the general premise is Josh O'Connor used to work for Colin Firth in this government. He's escaped with all these records and information.
He's a whistleblower.
He's a whistleblower, and he's also got a colleague from that same place, and they've left together, played by Coleman Domingo, another fantastic actor who's been in a lot of stuff recently. So they are going to blow the whistle on all of this, and Emily Blunt plays a weather woman who's part of this news network in Kansas City or somewhere random. And she receives an on-air message from aliens, and they go to find her, and it's basically an action adventure from there. This has to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Okay, that's the consensus I've been seeing on the internet.
It is it is awful. Just nothing. It has nothing. I have not seen a movie yet like this where it actually feels like it's written by these aliens who are in this, where it's like, this is how humans talk and this is what a movie is. I cannot believe that this is written and directed by Steven Spielberg, who has been one of the more influential directors of our lifetime. Huge movies throughout the 90s and into the 2000s. I mean, hit after hit after hit. Even, again, The Fabelmans, a lot of Oscar buzz around that movie, lots of nominations. Even Ready Player One disappointed some people, but was still a fun action adventure movie. Disclosure Day isn't fun. It's not interesting. It is the most surface movie with no character development, no real motivation development, nothing to grab onto in this movie to make you go, oh, I want to see what happens next. I saw this movie kind of late at night, but I had a hard time keeping my eyes open. Again, maybe that has more to do with when I saw it. I've never felt like this before in a movie, where I'm just so unbelievably bored and disconnected that nothing about this movie matters. This is one of those reviews, Taylor, where I'm struggling to find things to say, because really I think I can sum it up by saying the dialogue in this movie is atrocious. The plot is nonsensical. The story is slow and boring and dull. The characters are uninteresting, and the acting in this movie is atrocious. From all these people who you expect, Colin Firth, Emily Blunt, Coleman Domingo, Josh O'Connor, Wyatt Russell is in this, who I think is fantastic. All these people who normally I think a lot of people would go, oh wow, they're
good really actors, stacked cast.
What a great cast. Terrible. Like, this is the worst performance I've ever seen Emily Blunt do.
Bad directing.
Yeah, I mean, the directing, that's
where
you have
directing,
to blame it.
I guess.
Bad directing, bad script, and even script-wise, you look at people like Ewan McGregor, who can act his way out of a bad script. I believe that these particular individuals I just mentioned, these 5 actors, can act their way out of a bad script. They were atrocious. So you have to say that's directing them. The director did not give them
for it to be across the board. Yes. You know what I mean?
Everybody was bad across the board in so many ways. you didn't feel anything for, like, I think Josh O'Connor, we're supposed to be rooting for him, but he's very unlikable. There wasn't really anything about him that was interesting. He was very awkward and weird and a little strange. And here's the thing about Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt. It is so clear in this movie that they are doing an American accent that it makes their voices sound really strange. Like, I just don't think they're as... they are... I've seen Emily Blunt movies. I was about to say maybe they're not as great at non-accent work, but that's not true. I've seen Emily Blunt do an American accent before, and she's fine.
Josh O'Connor does an American accent in the Knives Out movie.
Okay.
And like, it's fine.
I did not see
like,
that.
You wouldn't know that he's...
You know what? I think he's American in Challengers. Now that I mention that, I think he plays an American.
Is he American? And he just does
he's not, because he was in The Crown, and he is British, because I almost everybody who played the sort of British family were all from, they had to be from there. Like, I think that was one of the rules they had. So no, he's definitely from England, somewhere there. So yeah, I'm shocked. This movie shocked me to my core. It has,
and not in a good way.
Yeah, even some bad movies have something you can grab onto, and what should have happened was, this wasn't a very interesting story. This wasn't great, but man, can Steven Spielberg direct movies, and what a great cast, and even John Williams did the score. I can't tell you about any of the music in this movie at all. Like, okay, one thing, I guess the only positive I will say, it looks perfectly fine. It looks like a Hollywood movie. It definitely looks like Steven Spielberg, big budget movie. Spielberg has different styles and things with the camera. Hey, it looks good. There's some really interesting camera moments. Yeah, Steven Spielberg can direct a movie. I know that. This is a terrible, terrible movie. This is a huge miss for everybody involved. This is just it's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Interesting.
And that's saying something. It's very just awful. I'm struggling. I have nothing else to say, because I think there's no defense and no devil's advocacy to any of the things I just said. Like, usually art, I'm the first person to say art is about the opinion of a person. I'm going to be writing all those reviews coming up, Taylor, for all those shows. I'm going to be shunned by the Ottawa theater community. And it's still, no matter what, it's still just an opinion. It's just my opinion. I could like the play, could not like the play. It's just my opinion. I'm telling you, it is fact that Disclosure Date is a awful film with some of the worst acting, worst dialogue, worst written script. This should be something you show in Film 101 in every single university of what not to do. It's so bad.
I don't think you're alone, because the buzz I'm hearing is negative buzz. So does Steven Spielberg normally write his movies?
As far as I understand, he usually does the story. And I will, to kind of correct myself, he wrote the story for this, but the screenplay was by somebody else.
Right.
David Knipp, who is also somebody who's done a lot of stuff, though. Like, this is someone who wrote the screenplay for Secret Window, some of the Jurassic Park movies, which aren't great, but Ghost Town, which is a great movie, Presence, which is a great movie. So it's not like this is a screenwriter who's never done anything. That doesn't
explain, like, the poor performances. You know what I mean?
That's Spielberg. So performances is on Spielberg, but the story, again, is okay, but I still think all over the place. So the story's not great, the screenplay's not great. Everybody was terrible. No one's getting off the hook here. Everybody was terrible in this movie. This is, without a doubt, a skip it. We need to invent a new category for this movie. This is a burn it.
So I find it fascinating that these older directors, the studios continue to throw money at them. And it's like, for what? So Martin Scorsese...
Up until now,
yeah,
I would say
Spielberg.
Because it's Spielberg. And age aside, Spielberg hits on most of his movies, even the more recent ones. So to me, it's like, well, The Fabelmans, there's nothing wrong with that movie. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not this. This is ridiculous.
My edgy take is that Spielberg is overrated and that he only makes, like, blockbuster movies. And so
Okay,
that's my edgy take about Spielberg.
I don't know.
I'm actually not like a huge fan
Yeah.
of him in terms of style. I think he mass produces for the markets in order to make money. But anyways, so what you're describing, I'm like, yeah, that checks out. But I guess what I just think, I guess this is a little bit unrelated, but I've been thinking about Martin Scorsese and how he's throwing all of his weight behind AI and being like, yeah, we should be using AI. And all the young directors and actors are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
so like these older guys that are just like, whatever, I'm old, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And I'm like, don't you realize that like you're burning down the house for the rest of us that have to continue to live here for the next 50 to 60 years? Like, Spielberg's horrible movie is bad for the movie industry. Like, if even Spielberg can't make a good movie anymore.
But I'll tell you this, AI can write a better movie than this.
So it wasn't even like he put it in right Gemini.
Now, AI can write a better movie than this. So yeah, like we can't blame AI.
This was human error.
This is human error, which even AI, any mistakes they make is still human error. This is just an example of, I don't know where the checks and balances have gone.
Too much money and not enough editing. Not enough people to tell him no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, regardless of if it's Steven Spielberg or not, part of art in the collaborative form is having someone around to do the checks, to not just let an artist do whatever. Because some of the best movies ever, some of the best TV shows ever, some of the best art created ever, you hear stories about the fight it was to get it made. Well, I think we need that. I think we need the pushback. We need the fight. We need the discussion. We need, in order to make something memorable, you need to go through that struggle to get there. And yeah, I don't think enough people said, can we do a couple more takes of this and work on the acting? Yeah, Mr. Spielberg, could we maybe do this again, but like actors? Because I don't see how you could watch one take of any of those performances and say, yeah, put that on the big screen.
Maybe that's the bigger point, that the humans are the aliens, Mike. I'm saying that tongue in cheek. I haven't even seen the movie.
We are the aliens.
Disclosure. We are the aliens.
Yeah, I bet you there's conspiracy theories out there about that, Taylor, that we arrived on this planet or something.
The lizard people that live underground but have taken over the bodies of the world leaders. That's
one I found was that dinosaurs were so advanced they actually did figure out how to leave the planet. And aren't extinct.
I haven't heard that one. That's an interesting one.
That's a real
okay.
It's a real take. But yeah, I think Disclosure Day, not only is a skip it, I would
burn it.
Vote for a new category. I'd vote for a burn it.
Trash can.
Yeah, there's a million reasons why this could be wrong, but I mean, I'd even say, hey, why don't you run that script through AI and punch it up a bit, because this was really bad.
Martin Scorsese should hire you, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, well, Martin Scorsese would probably have helped this script a little bit. Anybody could do better than this. Give me a pass at it.
Oh, we say that all the time. Hollywood, give us a call. We can.
Yeah, that's right. We can write your movie. Oh, Taylor, you could write a better movie than this.
I'd take the $6,000.
Well, especially like if you were given this script, just as an example, if you were given this script, you yourself could sit down and read it. Instead of creating it out of nothing, you could be what in theater they call a dramaturge, where you look at something and punch up the language,
or a script
doctor. Or do some research and help with certain areas. You absolutely could do that. And I think would improve this kind of movie. If you had a chance to look at it, went through and you could be like, okay, we'll do this and change this and make sure this dialogue's better. And okay, why don't we replace this with this and see how that goes? I actually think there's a lot of solutions that are pretty clear. So yeah, Hollywood should give us a call. We'll write you a movie sometime. It would be better than this.
I want to apologize on air when I said all these old people are ruining Hollywood. I'm not an ageist. I love our old people. Old people are good. but ultra wealthy people that have been working since the 60s and 70s should maybe retire. And
Yeah.
that goes for like
I
most
mean,
industries.
I think up until when seeing this movie, I would say, Spielberg, thank you. I think you
Thank you
might
for
be
your
done here,
service.
because that was a new low for most filmmakers. So
Speaking of old people, my movie features an old person. And I watched
that'll be the title of the episode.
Speaking of, you had me
Speaking
at
of,
old
you
people.
had me at old people.
So I watched Remarkably Bright Creatures, which is being distributed by Netflix. So you are able to get it on with your Netflix subscription. It was released in May, so not too old of a movie. It's been out for just almost 2 months now. This stars Sally Fields.
Oh, she's great.
And yeah, she is, talk about like a good actress, you know. Sorry, Sally Fields, singular. She always puts in a good performance. And then Louis Pullman. I don't know. Are you
familiar?
His face is familiar, but I honestly,
is he related to Bill Pullman? Like, is that?
Oh my goodness, maybe that's why he
son?
looks. Maybe that's why he looks. Yes, he is the son of Bill Pullman.
Oh, he looks exactly like
yes. That's why I'm like, oh yeah, his face looks really familiar. That's because he looks just like his dad.
He's going to be in the Spaceballs movie, so that makes sense.
Interesting.
I wonder if he's playing the son of his father's character.
Oh, that's really funny. He was in Top Gun also. Maverick, Top Gun.
Yes,
Maverick.
He was in Top Gun Maverick, and he was in Thunderbolts.
Salem's
Lot. He's very good. He's been in quite a few things, and I think he's quite good. Yeah. I had no idea he was related to Bill Pullman. That's
now you know.
Wild.
Yeah. Nepo baby. And then there was
one of the talented ones.
Yes.
What do we call them instead of Nepo babies? They're legacy artists.
He's a legacy artist.
Nepo baby or legacy artist. Yeah. Yeah.
Joan Chen makes an appearance in this movie. I know her from Twin Peaks, and I haven't seen her since Twin Peaks, so I thought, oh, that's nice to see her. Kathy Baker, again, noticeable. Beth Grant. So essentially, actresses that like look familiar, kind of like character actresses. Colm Meaney, he's an Irish actor, again, very recognizable face. He's in this movie. And then Alfred Molina, a super recognizable face. He voices the octopus. So this you're like, voices the octopus. Interesting. So this movie, for people who don't know anything about it, it stars Sally Field, who plays Tova, who she's described, and maybe Sally Field is elderly, but she's described in the Wikipedia article and all of the promotional stuff as a quote unquote elderly widow. And I'm like, I wouldn't consider Sally Field elderly.
No.
But
that's odd.
Yeah, she is a widow, and like the group of women she's friends with are retired. Some of their husbands have passed away, so I would say that they're like in their 70s. But
okay, so is she playing like an older? She's playing like an older woman who like if this isn't like a sudden death, like husband died.
No, he's old. He's
causes,
like it was appropriate. Yeah. But to me, she looks 70. But when you say someone's elderly, I'm like, oh, they're 80. She doesn't look 80 in this movie. And the chronology of the movie wouldn't put her at 80 either. But that's just me nitpicking again. Maybe, if you didn't know.
Maybe they're saying that in there because they want it understood that this is her husband died of natural causes, not right. She's like a sudden death kind of thing.
But interestingly, so like, okay, so she is the night cleaner at an aquarium in like the Pacific Northwest, like Washington area. And so she's a cleaner, and she's kind of withdrawn. She does have a group of girlfriends that she meets with regularly, but she's really like turned inward, doesn't really want to be part of a community. And she befriends an octopus named Marcellus. And Marcellus is the narrator of the movie. And he is an elderly octopus. And we know from the very beginning of the movie that he's nearing the end of his octopus life. And before he passes on, he wants to help Tova, the cleaner. He has identified a emotional hole in her life, and because she has shown him friendship and at one point she, saves him, that's his life's mission before he passes away. So he is the narrator of the movie. So Lewis Pullman comes into town and he's looking for someone, and through a series of events ends up working at the aquarium too under Tova. He's filling in for her while she's recovering from an injury. And so the movie is a little bit of a mystery because he's trying to figure out he's trying to find this person and how that person's connected to his life. And in the process, Tova and Lewis Pullman's character kind of strike up an unlikely friendship, and the octopus is essentially narrating this relationship. Tova's character, as I said, she has this kind of emotional wound. It's related to her son, and so there's these parallel stories of like Lewis Pullman's character's emotional journey and then Tova's emotional journey, and how they're kind of like running alongside each other.
Okay.
This movie was recommended to me by a coworker, and it's very much that, like, I don't mean this, Garrett, if you're listening, I don't mean this in a rude way whatsoever, but like, I'm like, yes, this is the movie of like an older mom, like my mom's age, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very it's described kind of as a melodrama, so where some people would maybe find this story a little corny or maybe a little bit predictable, right? But if you're like, I'm thinking like, not knowing your mom very well, Mike, but knowing the types of movies your parents watch, I feel like your mom, this would be like a perfect movie for like your mom or my mom, or like,
right.
And you know what I mean? Like, it is just enough intrigue. That's what I asked my coworker, was like, it was sad in the middle. I said, but does it have a happy ending? Because I'm in a period of my life where I don't like watching movies that have sad endings. And she went, no. Like, it has a very like satisfying, happy ending. So like, this movie is one of those movies where it's just under 2 hours. It's very well acted. Sally Field and Lewis Pullman have excellent chemistry. They have such an easy presence with each other. They feel very grounded, very realistic. Even though this octopus is narrating the movie, it feels like a very grounded, real movie. It is a little melodramatic in some ways. So for some people that might be corny, but for other people, they like that kind of story. And again, this is, I feel like melodramas were like super big in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then we kind of had a resurgence in like the 2000s. You don't really see these smaller, I don't even want to say sentimental, because sentimental can be like derogatory sometimes. Just these like smaller kind of heartfelt movies anymore. At least I don't think they're as like accessible, or these used to be one of the,
not marketed as much as you would see. Like, they don't get the big marketing budgets. There's not a huge push. I agree with you. I think they're out there, but I agree with what you're saying. I just don't think they're the accessible front-facing movie. But sometimes on streaming platforms, they'll
find
lead
them
with those kinds of things because it's like easy watching. But I agree with you. I don't think there's as many of them in the mainstream conversation as there used to be.
That was a wonderful way to describe it. It's an easy watching experience. It was like Song Sung Blues that Dan and I watched just over the Christmas break there, where it's not necessarily like a family movie. Like, you could put this on in mixed company, but I feel like it kind of skews that like 50s, 60s, 70s demographic. Because it's easy. I did cry watching this movie. You'll cry at the right places. You'll smile at the right places, and it will be tied up in a nice bow at the end. I found it well written. well acted. I would say well directed. It wasn't like the most beautiful movie I ever saw, or like, you know, the cinematography didn't blow me out of the water, but like it was a very easy, serviceable movie. I will say that actually, you know what? I'm gonna backtrack. There were some really beautiful shots because this is, I don't know if it was filmed in Washington State. I wouldn't be surprised if this was filmed in Vancouver. But there's, you know, the ocean, and there's like beach shots, and you do get some underwater shots of the ocean and like marine life. So there were some really beautiful ocean, beach, marine life shots. So I will say that. And some of the shots in the aquarium were quite well done. So my only qualm with this movie, and I know people are going to be like, of course, and roll their eyes. The octopus is a character in the movie. And I thought the voice of the octopus was very good. I thought that it was scripted. The actual octopus, like when he's in the shots with humans, it was a combination of real footage of an octopus like swimming or whatever, and then I'm assuming in the close-ups CGI. I felt that when the octopus interacted with the humans, it felt a little bit uncanny valley, and like I know it's not a real octopus. The similar experience to when we watched The Sheep Detectives, Mike, where I'm like, I know that's not a sheep.
Right, it's just a little bit not.
It takes me.
Like it's just
it
not
takes
enough
me
to
out.
fool you. Yeah, and
It
the
takes me
uncanny
out
valley
of the
effect is exactly what you're describing, right? It's not enough.
It's a little odd.
Yeah.
I mean, I it's hard because the octopus is the character, so like he has to be in the movie, and I know like I can't imagine there's octopus actors, you know what I mean? Like especially because we're moving away from using live animals in movies. I don't know. It's if the budget just wasn't there or what, but that would be my only qualm. So overall, I would say this is one of those tough ones, Mike, where it's like there's nothing wrong with the
this.
Pardon me.
Where would you put something like this?
Yes.
When exactly what you were saying there, if there's nothing wrong with it, you have a lot of things that fit for you. You especially you have a demographic you think will really, really enjoy this movie.
Yes.
Right? Like you seem very clear on that. So how would you place this kind of thing when you know there's an audience out there for this specifically?
Yeah. Like I will, when I see my mother-in-law this weekend, I will tell her to watch this movie and I know she'll like it. So I feel like if you like this type of movie that I'm explaining, like a very serviceable, easy, sentimental watch that's going to pull at your heartstrings and have a nice ending, this is a see it. Right? Just like my coworker told me, like, I watched this movie over their weekend, you have to see it. Like, people are going to see this movie and recommend it to other people. Right. Was this my particular genre of movie? I would say no. So like, but did I enjoy it? Yes. Right. So I am going to say it's a see it, Mike.
Okay.
Because I think like if this had been in the theaters, this is a movie that like is worth paying money to see on the big screen. It just isn't. It wouldn't be my most natural pick. You know what I mean?
Did it? I don't, because I know you're saying there's a lot of predictability to it, and it's kind of a standard story of what you're expecting. But did you enjoy it more than you think you would, or the exact amount that you felt like, no, this is exactly how much I would enjoy this story? It just makes sense.
It was exactly what I expected. It was. I went in thinking I'm gonna like this movie, and I exited saying, yes, I liked this movie. Will I remember this movie 4 years from now?
Right.
Probably not. I'll remember that the octopus was the narrator. Yeah. Like kind of that level of movie. You know what I mean? Like it was fine to watch on an afternoon.
Right.
But I would never buy this on DVD, or I probably will never rewatch it.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. No, I think that's fair. Like I understand what you're saying. Like I think
yeah. So like it is like it's one of those movies where like structurally and like technically there's nothing wrong with this movie. There's nothing wrong with this movie. I just like it was just like it isn't like a comedy, right? So like it's not gonna make you laugh out loud laugh. Like I would be more inclined to watch a comedy movie than to maybe watch like a mystery. It's not, I guess you could say it's a drama. Yeah, like I think you could comfortably say that it's a drama. These type of dramas just aren't my normal wheelhouse. But that being said, I think it's a very good example of this type of movie, this genre. And if this is up your alley, it's well worth a watch.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I think that's clear. I think people listening, whether or not that's you.
Yeah.
You should be able to tell that. So there you go. See it from Taylor. All right. Well, I tell you, nothing worse than watching a terrible movie and having to talk about it.
Now you need like a palate cleanser.
Maybe that's what this week will be. A nice palate cleanser. See some theater. Go back to the movie theaters. See something else. Toy Story 5 is coming out soon. Well, maybe that's a good, easy watch.
I will not be seeing that one unless I shouldn't put that out there because now we are going to have people be like, Taylor has to go see Toy Story 5.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what will happen. People will tell you, well, now you got to go. And
now you have to watch all 5.
Yeah. Well, and you love our fans, so you do it. So let's just
please don't do that to me.
But thank you everybody for listening once again this week. Hopefully, if you are someone who's writing in fan questions, I should just note sometimes we're going to save them for mailbag episodes, just so everybody knows. If you've written in a question, we promise we'll get to it. We're just doing out of order recordings, so we thought we would just compile and do mailbags, and that's been easier. And those episodes have been going well, so we're just going to keep doing that. So if you do have a fan question, feel free to write in soul1arts.ca. Go to the podcast tab, fill out the form, and send us a fan question.
Go see some movies.
Thank you for listening to You Had Me At Skip It, a Soul One Arts Inc. podcast. This podcast is produced by Mike Shepard and Austin Spinner Summer. It is a project of Soul One Arts Inc. To learn more about Soul One and all the great work that Soul One is doing in the arts community, especially in film, theater, and other performing arts, visit soul1arts.ca. You can contribute to this podcast by visiting soul1arts.ca and going to the podcast tab. You'll find all the information on You Had Me At Skip It and how you can get your questions read on air each week. Thank you again for listening.